September is turning out to be a really strange month for Microsoft. At a time when they have just about 2 months left into the launch of their next-gen game console, you'd expect a ton of information being thrown at us. Instead, Microsoft has gone ahead and really tampered our expectations. I say this in part due to an official tweet by the Xbox Twitter account, basically stating that while they will be at the Tokyo Game Show, they don't want you to get too excited. Now let's take a look at the tweet. So looking at the tweet, you can see that Microsoft will be there to celebrate Japanese game development creativity. They're going to also discuss some Microsoft Flight Simulator updates. There'll be a discussion surrounding Minecraft Japanese creativity. And then finally, as they have highlighted, there will be no new next-gen news. This is a really interesting move by Microsoft because I know they have gotten people excited for things in the past and it really hasn't panned out. But I think it's a bad look, especially considering you're coming out with a console in less than 2 months and there's no new information. So this video today is going to be a discussion about what I think Microsoft can do and showcase to really get people excited and give them something they can sink their teeth into. With Halo Infinite delayed into 2021, there's a lot of internet discussion going around surrounding if the Xbox Series X is actually a good value proposition. I mean, we know that there'll be no killer app on launch day, so what is stopping a consumer from jumping ship to Sony or waiting a year to get the console $100 cheaper? Microsoft knows that this generation is going to be a struggle if they don't beat Sony, and this is evident, clearly evident, by the fact that Sony and Microsoft are just in a standstill on who's going to launch first and who's going to say what the price is. They know that if one gets ahead of the other, it could be bad news. Microsoft has had a hellish last 7 years, and they don't want to repeat that. Microsoft really needs to work to fill in the gaps this month. I think one great way would be to discuss the new features of the Xbox emulator. After all, the Xbox Series X is going to be heavily reliant on backwards compatibility, and they tout thousands of games in this catalog. It's really interesting that Microsoft has kind of commented that the new engine is going to supply higher resolution, higher frame rate, and even some automatic HDR support for older games, but they really haven't gone into too much detail on why this matters. I think this is really important to the Xbox because, after all, there's varying levels of Xbox backwards compatibility support. I think that due to Microsoft not posting their sales numbers, that probably 85% of Xbox owners own the base Xbox One or One S hardware. There's probably about 15% of consumers that actually own the Xbox One X. Now what this means is you have a very different experience over the base hardware when compared to the One X. Microsoft has coined the Xbox One X enhanced games and actually supports quite a few of them. What this means is if you own an Xbox One X, you're getting higher resolution, you're getting a higher frame rate, and some games even load in 4K assets. One of my favorite games on this program is MX Unleashed. This is an original Xbox game that just looks fantastic. There's also the beloved Red Dead Redemption 1, which looks mind-blowing. It's hard to tell when played in native 4K that you're playing an Xbox 360 game. Now the other game I would mention is a fan favorite, Fusion Frenzy, the first game on the original Xbox. It looks really good and is a joy to play. So Microsoft, knowing that a lot of their customers don't actually have the hardware that's capable to display these games in their true fashion, they should really be capitalizing on showcasing if you buy an Xbox Series X, these games are going to look fantastic. To me, this is a really big missed opportunity, and I'm hoping it's something they start to show, because if they wait too long, it's going to be too late. With all this said, they also have another thing they need to combat. There's recent rumors that the PS5 is only going to support PS4 backwards compatibility. The PS3, 2, and 1 are likely to be left behind. Sure, there might be some inevitable emulation down the road, but Microsoft has the complete catalog. It's so much more advanced than what Sony is currently offering. If Microsoft doesn't combat this appropriately, the internet's going to turn into a whirlwind of people starting to say, hey, I kind of agree. I don't care about the old games I don't play any longer. I only care about what Microsoft can offer me in the future. We know that Microsoft isn't going to be able to offer too many games in the future outside of 2 to 3 years away. So Microsoft really needs to show that you as a consumer, you actually want to play your old games. They need to tell us what we want. I, for one, would love to see some automatic HDR gameplay demos. Give us an engineering vidoc. Give us something to showcase the differences among one console versus the other and really get people excited. Me personally, like I said before, some people don't care about backwards compatibility. I was personally one of those people at one time. But once I saw what the Xbox One enhanced games look like, I actually went back and played through MX Unleashed. It was a blast. I would have never done this if I was just on base Xbox One hardware. So Microsoft has a huge opportunity here. I hope if they don't do it this month, then at least in October they really start to showcase what they have, because I'm really interested to hear more about the automatic HDR and how that implementation is going to work. So thank you for watching my video today. I'm really interested to see if A, you actually care about backwards compatibility, and B, if you've ever played an Xbox One X enhanced title, and what do you think about it? Thank you for tuning in, and as always, have a great day.